Hey everyone. Have you ever thought about how much AI is kind of just like there in
Yeah.
the background of our lives? I mean,
Yeah.
it's honestly pretty wild.
Yeah.
Filtering spam emails, recommending that song you can't stop listening to.
Uh-huh.
It's AI agents working behind the scenes all the time.
Right.
And today we're taking a deep dive into one you probably use every single day, YouTube's recommendation algorithm.
Okay, cool.
We've got a ton of research and articles here ready to really unpack it all.
Okay.
But the biggest question for me is, how much is this algorithm aware of, me, the viewer? Like, does it actually get what I like?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. What's really fascinating about YouTube's recommendation algorithm is that it's designed to constantly learn and adapt to you as a viewer. It's almost like having a personalized AI DJ,
Ooh, I like that.
curating an endless playlist just for you.
Except instead of music, it's videos.
Exactly.
Video.
So how does it work?
It's fascinating. Think of it like a constant conversation, a back and forth between you and the algorithm.
Oh, we call this a feedback loop.
Okay, so a conversation.
Right.
So I'm like talking to YouTube just by watching and clicking.
Exactly. The system is picking up signals based on everything you do. How long you watch a video, do you like it, do you dislike it, do you leave a comment, do you share it, do you subscribe to the channel?
Yeah.
Even your search queries are part of the data.
Yeah.
And all of that gets fed back into the system, shaping what you see next.
So it's like YouTube is building a little dossier on me, which is kind of creepy. But also, I mean, if it can figure out what I like, that's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. You have to think about the sheer volume of information the system is processing. Millions of users, billions of videos.
Right.
It's sifting through all of that to try and understand your individual preferences.
So how does it even start to make sense of all that data? It's got to be doing more than just, like, tallying what I click on.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a simple tally system. The algorithm relies on some serious computational muscle, specifically machine learning models. These models are basically the brains of the operation. They analyze all that data and they start to identify patterns in your behavior.
Okay, so it's getting a little technical here. I was looking through some of this research,
Yeah.
and I saw terms like deep neural networks, collaborative filtering, and reinforcement learning. Are those the brains we're talking about?
Yeah. Those are exactly the brains we're talking about.
Oh.
Imagine them as different specialists, all working together.
Okay.
Deep neural networks are kind of the pattern recognition experts. They can spot complex relationships in the data.
Okay.
Collaborative filtering, that's like our matchmaker, saying, hey, you like those videos. Other users who share your taste also enjoyed these. You might like them too.
Wow.
And then you've got reinforcement learning, which is all about constant adjustment and improvement based on how you react to the suggestions.
Got it.
Did you watch the video? Did you skip it? That tells the model how to fine-tune its strategy for you.
Okay, that makes sense. It's way more complex than I imagined.
Right.
But let's bring it back to awareness. How does YouTube use all of this to really, like, get me as a viewer? What makes it feel like it's paying attention?
The system develops this awareness through several key mechanisms. The first is by creating a profile of your preferences based on everything you do on YouTube. You know, that data collection and analysis we talked about. That forms the foundation of its understanding of you.
Right, so like the enjoys cat videos and space documentaries profile, at least in my case.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just having a static profile. The system also incorporates context into its recommendations.
Okay.
So things like, what time of day is it? Where are you? What device are you using? All of these things help it figure out what might be relevant to you in that exact moment.
That makes sense. So if I'm on my phone during lunch, maybe it suggests shorter videos.
Right.
But if I'm on my tablet on the couch on, like, Friday night, maybe it gives me something longer and more in-depth.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's pretty smart. It is. And then the last piece of this awareness puzzle is the balance between what we call exploration and exploitation.
Exploration and exploitation. Sounds kind of intense.
It's not as dramatic as it sounds. Exploitation just means the system is playing it safe. It's showing you content that closely aligns with what it already knows you like.
Makes sense.
But exploration, that's when it throws a bit of a curveball. Suggesting something outside your usual viewing habits.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're like, YouTube, you know me so well.
Totally.
And then other times you're completely surprised by a recommendation.
Yeah.
Sometimes those surprises lead you to great discoveries, and sometimes not so much. But that's part of how the system learns.
I get that. So it needs that balance. Give me what I want, but also push me a little bit, see what else I might like.
Yeah.
And that back and forth, that's how it really starts to refine its understanding of my, unique taste.
That's precisely.
This is so cool.
Right.
But are we just puppets to the algorithm? Or do we have any control over what it learns about us? We'll find out after a quick break.
We're back, and we're talking about the awareness of YouTube's recommendation algorithm, how it seems to just get you. Before the break, we talked about all that data it collects and how it uses machine learning models to crunch that data. It's honestly kind of mind-blowing. But is this a one-way street? Am I just at the mercy of this AI?
Not at all. Remember the conversation we talked about, that feedback loop? Well, it's not just the algorithm doing all the talking. You have a voice, too.
Okay, so how do I talk back? Is it more than just, clicking like or dislike?
You got it. Every interaction you have sends a signal back to the algorithm. Even something as simple as how much of a video you watch before clicking away tells the system something about your preferences. But you can be more direct, too. Have you ever used that not interested button?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when YouTube gives me a recommendation that's totally out there. Like, why in the world do you think I want to watch that? That's a great example of you giving direct feedback. You're basically saying, nope, this isn't for me. Please adjust accordingly. And you can actually go a step further. You can even remove videos from your watch history if you don't want them influencing future recommendations.
Wait, really? I can edit my watch history? That's like rewriting my past on YouTube.
Exactly. And it can be helpful for different reasons, like maybe you are watching videos for a specific reason, like researching a gift idea or trying to learn how to do something. But you don't want those videos cluttering up your recommendations forever. Deleting them gives you more control.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just about the data YouTube collects, it's also about giving users some say in how that data is used. I like that.
Absolutely. And in addition to all of that, YouTube gives you a pretty good level of control through its settings. Have you ever explored the settings related to recommendations?
To be honest, not really. I usually just kind of go with the flow. What kind of stuff can I actually tweak in there?
Well, for one, you can manage your interests. Like if YouTube is recommending too many videos in a certain category you're just not into, you can tell it to show you less of that stuff. And it works the other way, too. You can tell it you want to see more of the things you enjoy.
So I could, dial up the science documentaries and dial down the reality TV.
Precisely. You can also manage subscriptions, prioritize channels you love, and even block specific channels altogether if you want. It's all about fine-tuning.
Okay, I see. So it's kind of like I'm taking the wheel a bit. I'm guiding the algorithm instead of just letting it drive. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And there's another setting I find really helpful. You can actually see why a video was recommended to you. It's like you're getting a peek behind the curtain.
Wait, really? How does that work?
It's pretty neat. When you see a recommended video, there's usually a little icon you can click. It'll tell you what triggered that recommendation. Maybe it's based on another video you watched recently, or a channel you subscribed to, maybe even something you searched for a while back.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like understanding the algorithm's thought process, seeing the connections it's making.
And that's a really important part of building awareness. Not just the algorithm's awareness of you, but your awareness of how the algorithm actually works. The more you understand the why behind those recommendations, the more informed choices you can make about whether to watch them or not.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's not about outsmarting the algorithm. It's more about understanding it and using that knowledge to your advantage.
Exactly. And that idea goes way beyond just YouTube. We're seeing these kinds of personalized recommendations everywhere now. Music streaming, online shopping, news feeds. They're all trying to figure you out and tailor the experience for you. So the more you understand how these systems work, the better prepared you are.
This has been really eye-opening. I feel like I have a way better understanding of what's happening behind all those YouTube recommendations, and even more importantly, what my role is in that whole system. It's empowering, knowing we're not just puppets to the algorithm. So we've talked about how it learns about us and how we can have some influence over that learning process. But before we wrap up, I'm curious about the bigger picture. What does all of this mean for us as, people who consume information online? Where does this awareness actually lead us?
That's a great question and a perfect way to transition into our final thoughts on this deep dive.
Okay, so we're back. And we've been really getting into this whole idea of awareness when it comes to YouTube's recommendation algorithm. It's amazing how much this thing learns about us.
Yeah.
And how it shapes what we end up seeing.
Right.
But we can actually have some influence over that. We can kind of take control a little bit.
Absolutely.
So where does all this lead us? What's the, big takeaway here?
It's a great question, and I think it really gets at how we interact with AI in general. As these systems get smarter and more sophisticated, understanding how they work becomes even more important. It's not about being afraid of the technology.
Right.
It's about being informed and empowered.
Like they say, knowledge is power.
Yeah, exactly.
So for all of us out there trying to figure this stuff out, what's the one thing they should take away from our little deep dive here?
Well, the biggest takeaway for me is that you are not just along for the ride. You're not a passive passenger in this whole digital world.
Okay.
You actually have a voice, you have agency, and you can actively shape your online experience. And it all starts with understanding that these algorithms aren't some mysterious force.
Right.
They're tools, and they're built on data and feedback.
Right.
And it's your data, your feedback, that makes the whole system work.
That's a powerful message.
Yeah.
It's not about outsmarting the algorithm.
No.
It's about getting to know it and then using what you learn to make it work for you.
Exactly. And that idea goes way beyond just YouTube.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We see this kind of personalized stuff everywhere these days.
Yeah.
Music streaming, online shopping, news feeds are all trying to figure you out, tailor the experience. So the more you understand the basic ideas behind them, the better prepared you'll be to navigate it all in a way that feels good to you.
Makes sense. So next time I'm going through my YouTube feed, I'm going to be looking at those recommendations in a whole new way. I'll be thinking about why those videos are popping up.
Right.
And I'll know that if I want to, I can tweak things. I have some power there.
That's it. It's all about being an active participant, not just passively consuming. And that's a really valuable skill in our, increasingly AI-driven world.
This has been an awesome conversation. I feel like I've learned so much about how YouTube's recommendations actually work. And more importantly, my own role in all of it. It's empowering, to know that we're not just puppets.
Exactly. It's a partnership.
We can dance with the algorithms.
We can.
Awesome. Well, this has been fantastic. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and YouTube's recommendation algorithm. Until next time, everyone,